All right, we are back. If you've caught the first part of the first live I tried to do, I was interrupted by a puppy. So we have her in the corner chewing a bone. Hopefully she will remain calm for all of this. But I'm coming here to talk to you guys. Hi, Jamie. Creepo. To talk to you guys about knowing your role, understanding what your purpose is here, understanding how to tune into your own purpose, your own inner wisdom. What I often see within the coaching industry, and for those of you who are catching this live, why don't you drop a comment below, drop an emoji below. For those of you who are watching the replay, let me know that you were here, let me know that you caught this, let me know what you took away. I'd love to connect with you and just get to know who's watching these a little bit better. For those of you who are new to my energy, I'm Shelby Rose, the founder of the Raise Your Vibration podcast, as well as the Become Magnetic Mastermind. And this is coming, I was on my walk and I was like, am I supposed to bring a message forward today? This is really how I connect to my own wisdom, how I connect to the messages that want to come through, or just simply ask, how do you want me to be of service? And I had a conversation for a podcast yesterday where we talked about so many people coming into the industry, so many people bringing and wanting to own their own business and wanting to bring a message forward, but not really having clarity on who they are at their core, what their mission is, what their purpose is, who they're here to serve. And when this happens, it ends up having this really watered down energetic effect. What I mean by that is that we end up pulling on the energy of other people around us, other people in the industry, our mentors, our healers, our coaches, the words of others, and bringing those forth, right? What ends up happening is that you're bringing forth energy that's not yours. And because when we're not bringing forth energy that's like, we're pulling other people's energy, other people's missions, other people's roles into what it is that we're here to birth, it gets really watered down. So today we're going to talk about how you can hold that potency, how you can hold your energy, how you can connect to that inner wisdom, to what is my role, what is my purpose, what am I here to do, how am I here to be of service, how can I be of service in this? And so many of us come to this planet and we're like, what am I supposed to do here, right? And some of us, our role is simply to just experience this planet, right? To experience joy, to experience pleasure, to experience and have community and have connection, right? Some of us, it's like we're here to clean up messes. You think about the people, I don't know why this example is coming in. It's like people who do recycling and trash. That may be their role. That may be their soul essence, is to clean up messes, and they may be completely content and fulfilled by doing that. We're going to talk about you in the coaching industry, for those of you who are in this industry, how to tune into that role, how to tune into what is it here that I'm here to bring forth. So for those of you who have businesses, desire businesses, or want to bring a message forward, maybe you don't want it to have it in that business capacity, but you'd like to have an impact, right? You're feeling called to birth a podcast, be a content creator, write a book, whatever that may be, right? So we're going to talk about really how you can tap into your own wisdom so that you make sure that your energy is the most potent. And I want to say that there's nothing, I don't want to shame, right? So if you're noticing, I do feel like my message is a little watered down. I do feel like it's not just my energy I'm bringing forward. It very much so happens, and it's a natural thing that happens. We don't even really realize that we're doing it when we're disconnected from ourselves, from our bodies, from our mission, from our soul. I'm going to put a plug in here. If you're feeling disconnected from your soul, your higher self, your downloads, your wisdom, I have a whole program out that's starting next Tuesday. The doors are open until next Tuesday, all about reconnecting to your soul, all about reconnecting to your inner self, your inner knowing, your path, your purpose, your calling, your mission. Because when you connect to soul, when you connect to your higher self, you can't not feel that pull forward, that pull to your purpose, your mission, your path, whatever that may be, right? Whether that's birthing a family or birthing a business. So let's talk about number one, how do you know when you're disconnected from your message? How do you know when you're disconnected from your role, right? And I see this because it's like there's so many beautiful people who do so many beautiful things. There's beautiful leaders. I'm in Andy Love's 21 Days of Embodiment right now. She's got this free 21-day embodiment practice going on. And if you want to be a part of that, let me know. I'll get you the link or add you to the Facebook group. It's a really beautiful container, a lot of beautiful energy in there. Andy is a genius at embodiment, right? She does a beautiful work in embodiment. She does beautiful practices. That is what she's here to bring forth, right? That is the mission, the purpose, what she's here to do. My role here, right now, it may evolve over time, but my role right here, right now, is to help people connect to themselves and connect to their lives, connect to their higher self, hear their soul, know that there is something beyond their physical body, right? Know that, yes, we're going to bring that soul and we're going to bring it in, and we do little bits and pieces of embodying that part of the soul, but I'm not talking about embodiment because it's not my role. My role is to help people understand that there's this quantum energetic world. My role is to help them connect to their own intuition, to help them trust themselves, to help them live their lives, to help them bring their messages forward. My role is different, and when I'm disconnected from that, the potency of my message falls flat. You feel that disconnect, you feel it in your heart. There's like not that like, I have to get this out into the world. There's this like, yeah, I could get this out into the world, or I could say this, or I could say this. There's confusion. There's lack of clarity because you're not hearing the wisdom, the message, the downloads from your own soul. Talia is chewing very loudly. Your own wisdom, your own message that wants to come and be birthed through you. So how do you know your message? How do you know you're on your path? To me, it feels like I can't not do this, right? I can't, like, I've tried to walk away from this. I've tried to, shut everything down. But even in those times where I'm like, I'm gonna walk away from this, I'm gonna shut it all down, I can't do it, I still want to show up. I still have this call to show up. I still have this like pull to produce the podcast, to put my message out, to create a post. Like there's still this like pull that wants me to bring messages forward, right? So even when you feel that I don't want to do this, right? Because sometimes, and I think often, us leaders who've been called to this work, it's not an easy path to walk. Like having your own business, having your own message that you're supposed to bring forward, being in the eye of the public, putting yourself out there is not an easy path to walk. It's a very uncomfortable path. It's a path of constant evolution. It's a path of constantly realigning your life. And I think a lot of us have been, I don't know about you guys, but who have been on the path, who've walked the path, who've had their own business, who've had your own, like stepped into your purpose when it is in that entrepreneurial spirit. I'm not saying this is for everyone. I'm saying that everyone has a different role, but those of us who've done this, there may have been a time where you're like, I don't really want to do this. This is hard. This is uncomfortable, right? But there's something inside of you pulling you forward and saying, I can't not do this. And when you resist it, right? When we know we're resisting that role that we've come here to birth forward, when our human self is afraid, we start to shut down. Our life starts to shut down. Things start to feel hard. It's like if it doesn't come through you, it starts to shut down your life, right? It's like if you don't bring this forward, that thing that's been placed in your heart, you just feel like, what am I even here for? What am I doing? Where's my path? Where's my purpose? Your life starts to feel like resistance and difficulty and hard. And there's like this, like, maybe not even that. Maybe it's more so just this emptiness, right? Where we're not fully connected, right? When you're doing work that doesn't fill your life, or you're not living the life that you were meant to live, when you're not in your role, it starts to feel really meaningless. It starts to feel really empty. You start to feel really disconnected because you're disconnected from yourself. Your purpose, your role, your message is an extension of your higher self. It's like, to me, it's like my soul comes in and this is what I'm here to do. This is the path. This is the purpose. This is the message. And when that soul comes through and shines through, it also brings this beautiful energy with it. And when I'm not using that, when I'm like letting the gifts that I've been given in this lifetime, when I'm letting them just kind of like go to the wayside, or I'm not, like not utilizing everything that Source has given me, it feels really dull. It feels really heavy, right? Because we're not bringing that energy in. We're not utilizing the energy that is our essence. So how do you know your role? How do you know? It is the pull forward. But we cannot find that pull forward when we're hyper consuming everything else, right? You're hyper consuming TV, You're hyper consuming alcohol, you're hyper consuming other people's content, you're hyper consuming. It's a going inward and connecting to yourself, to your soul, to what is not in alignment, to understanding how your body speaks to you, how your soul speaks to you. And if you're struggling with that, we're doing a lot of this work in soul activation. We're going to be talking about how to connect to your soul, what your soul sounds like, how your soul speaks to you. We're going to connect to how your body speaks with that soul, how that soul connects into the body and gives you yes, no, you're on the right path, you're not, clarity, downloads. We're going to do a lot of that work in soul activation. But you cannot find that if you're constantly looking outside of yourself for something to fill you up, looking outside of yourself for something to fix what is, looking outside of yourself to realign your life. You cannot find answers outside of yourself. Even when I'm in the energy of someone else, when I'm working with, a mentor, or when I'm in a container, or when I'm in a healing, it's not the words they're saying me or they're telling me that I'm on my path. It's my interpretation. It's what I take from it, what I feel to be true based on that reflection. It's always from coming back to myself that I find my path. And so when we're hyper consuming and hyper taking in all this other stuff, you can't hear yourself. So my question for you today is, if there was nothing blocking you in your life, if there were no stories, if there was no fear, and really look at where the fear is in your life right now, if there was nothing holding you back from living a life that you actually wanted, from showing up and doing the work that you actually wanted, right? Whether that's social justice movements, whether that's starting your own business, whether that's working at the recycling plant, whether that's being a mom, whatever that may be, right? If there was no stories, and it was just, I get to choose whatever I desire, the thing that lights me up, the thing that fills my heart, the thing that fulfills me, the thing that expands me, the thing that brings me so much joy, even when it's difficult, even when it's uncomfortable. It's likely something you've always done, always known, right? I asked my mom what I was like as a kid, and I thought it was this super goofy, eccentric kid. I was like, I was probably super funny and always, and although I was always performing, always singing, I have pictures of me as a toddler performing, always. She said, you asked me questions that I didn't understand where they were coming from. You were very insightful, and you just knew things about the world that a toddler shouldn't know. You made me think about the world. And when she said that, I was like, whoa. I knew what I was here to do then. I knew that I was here to ask the questions that nobody was asking. I knew that I was here to disrupt the stories that we tell ourselves. I knew I was here to disrupt the illusions that we're fed. I knew I was here to help people reconnect to truth, their truth, right? Not the truth that they're looking for outside of themselves, their truth. This is what we do in soul activation. We reconnect you to that truth, that power that lives within you. I knew that when I was a kid. I didn't understand that that's how I was. I thought it was different because I had evolved into, I had turned into what society told me I should be, right? Always happy. Girls should always be happy. They should play. They should, be silly, be small, be quiet. 2-year-old Shelby was performing and singing in her in her living room I don't know for who, right? My mom and dad, whoever it may be. Your soul knew who you were here to be, right? Maybe you were always nurturing when you were a kid, always nurturing those around you. Maybe you're here to be the space holder. Maybe you were that goofball, that funny, that light, and you're here to just bring light back to people, remind them to play, remind them to be in that connection. Maybe you were the one who stood up for the other kids on the playground, the other toddlers, right? You said, this isn't right, I'm gonna stand up for this. You had no fear when you were a kid. And while that role may shift into something totally different, now that you're a grown adult and you can see the world through a different perspective, and you can expand that, right? Because I was only asking questions to my mom when I was Talia is playing with what's the thing that, it's like the spring thing where the door stopper, she flings it. It's like, she's like a cat sometimes. So what is the thing? Who were you before the world told you who you were? And how can you bring that forward into the work that you do today? Maybe it's bringing it into the job that you have, but maybe it is also bringing it into your business, bringing it into your message, bringing it into the world that you live in. How can you start to shift those around you? How can you start to make an impact? And again, that can simply by living your life, right? Getting really present in your life. I have a podcast dropping this week that's all about this waiting to live your life, right? Waiting for things to be different, waiting for the money to be there, waiting for the relationship to get there, waiting for whatever it may be, the stories that you tell, like waiting to live your life. How can you start doing the thing that you came here to do now? Maybe that's living your life a little differently. Maybe that's speaking your truth. Maybe that's embodying your message. What is the thing that you came here to do? You cannot find that in social media thread. You might get inspired, right? Ask your higher self to show you, what am I here for? What am I here to create? Who am I here to be? Show me. I'm releasing control of what I think my life has to be like, what I think my life is supposed to look like. I'm going to give this over to you. I'm going to trust you. Okay. I think that is all that wants to come through. Quick reminder that Soul Activation is closing next Tuesday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We have our first group call that day. This is going to be an 8-week energetic container. There's a lot of beautiful souls already in this container. A lot of new souls coming in. I have like my little whiteboard of all the people in it. And what do I want to say about this? So 8 weeks, it's about reconnecting to your soul. It's reconnecting to your higher self, about hearing and aligning your life so that there is more ease, there is more connection, there is more play, there is more being in your life, right? Like this is really what it's about, is like actually being a part of your life, whether that means you are stepping up into your purpose, or that means that you're being more present in your life, or that simply you feel more connected to your soul and there's more peace in the chaos in your life. It's a really incredible program. There's a lot of really incredible people who have gone through it and had really, really beautiful transformations on the other side. There's going to be 2 live group coaching calls, 1 group healing. So we're really going to do the quantum energy work. We're going to clear the things that are in your field. There's going to be 8 modules that drop weekly, and each week there's a transmission, a spiritual practice, affirmations. I teach affirmations very differently. It's not just saying I'm worthy, right? There's an embodiment piece of the affirmation, and then you're also going to get access to all the previous content. So about like 6 previously recorded modules when I was in a different energetic state. So it's really fun to see the transition to who I am today. So, and the messages, how they differ and change over the past 2 years since I previously launched it. So I hope to see you guys there. I love you. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope you have a great day.